Oh man,
We have so little time, and I have.
Yeah,
I could talk to you for another hour.
It's
well,
fun,
just a handful of minutes here. Just a few minutes, but a few little questions.
2 questions,
awesome.
because we heard all this kind of the later part of your marriage. I wanted to know, one, how did you meet Chris?
Okay.
And how did you know he was the one? And then, what was the first year or 2 of marriage like? Because I always, for most people, it's kind of rough. So if we could condense that in just a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
So Christopher and I met when we were both auditioning for an English Society's production of The Mysteries Creation, which were little vignettes from the Bible. Yeah, real knee slapper. And he was on a acting scholarship to BYU, but he thought if he majored in English that it would be more practical. Yeah. And I was in the English Society. Of course I was. And so he got cast as Satan himself, the devil, and I got cast as a chicken on Noah's Ark. People are still talking about that performance. It's fine. And we were friends for a long time, hanging out. And in fact, I dated his best friend. We don't really talk about that. It didn't work out. And then after we were friends for about a year, he started signing up for some of my classes. I started signing up for some of his classes. We were together all the time. We started dating. We got engaged in February, married in June of 1995. And honestly, I remember he gave me flowers for our first anniversary, some daisies, because we were too poor and he couldn't afford roses. He wrote on the card. And he's like, I'm so glad we got through this really hard year. Ha ha. Because we used to always joke because we would really shut up because all of our friends were like, oh, this first year of getting, used to getting married to somebody and it's so hard. And we would be like, yeah, it's so hard. Listen, I'm not trying to say we had a perfect marriage because we didn't. The hard years came later, but it wasn't the first couple of years. The first couple of years, we were super poor. We were finishing up school. We kind of both didn't really know exactly what we wanted to do. And we were figuring it all out, but we were, having parties with our friends, having our friends over for dinner, making funny memories, acting, directing, just doing weird stuff and having a blast. And the hard part came later with kids and careers and full-time school and church service and going back to school and like in a ridiculous schedule and trying to like, oh, hey, remember me? Hey, what about me? Like, and trying to negotiate and renegotiate what that would look like. My biggest complaint in our marriage, our whole year, our 25 years was always about us spending enough time together. That was because of all the things that we both were doing and being like, and trying to schedule. That was probably our biggest, negotiation. And that wasn't misinterpreted as anything other than, scheduling life. Just life. Like, how do you do this? Yeah. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could talk to you for another 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
You have a real spark of life, and I think it really transcends the camera and the microphone. And thanks. I think that this episode is going to be really transcendent for a lot of people. I loved how you said, be in the marriage, be vulnerable, be like, just do 100%. It. Be in it. No 50-50. It's all you.
Yep.
And that's what's going to do it. And you have such a beautiful story. And it's amazing that you got more out of 25 years than I think a lot of people get out of in 100. And it's just a beautiful story. And like I said, I would love to stay on here for a little longer, but we have another record to make here soon. But
well,
thank
that's
you so much,
very
Lisa.
generous of you to say thank you. That means a lot to me.
I would love to have you back on again or something sometime in the future.
Oh, I'd love to. Beautiful. Like I said, it's so weird being my age and being single. And like, I'm like, I love talking about marriage. Like, I really believe in it. Like, I just like, it's the best. And a lot of people look at me sort of weird about it. So I love, I love talking about it. So
well, you get it, and you
I'm so glad you do. We're so glad you
communicate
do.
it well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
All right, well, I'm going to cut it here.
That's what you've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org, where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission.